company is mature enough. It's been, we founded the company 12 years ago. Today we are in 38 countries. We have more than 130 million active users. And I believe it's time to do the next, go to the next chapter. Definitely by doing this IPO, we're going to get some primary capital that we will use, of course, for our future expansion. But also I think it's time also to rotate the investors that have been with us in the last 7, 8, 9 years supporting us. So it's a good moment for them also to exit and to allow other people to enter in the company and to support in the next phase of the growth of the company. Are
you encouraged by what you've seen thus far? I know it's been quite early, but what are you noticing from the new investor base, as you say?
Well, I think we've been quite grateful. The IPO was quite successful. It was oversubscribed several times, and that allowed us to have, I would say, the most important South African investors, but also international investors. One of the goals was to have a good profile of international and domestic investors. And we have the opportunity to choose a bit because of the oversubscription. So we have a long-term investors that they really believe in the project, that I believe they be with us in the long run if we are able to fulfill our plans. And of course, there is a piece of investor that came more from hedge funds that hopefully will allow us to have the right liquidity. It's very important to have liquidity in the market. We just float 30% of the company. So the balance, I think, is the right one, and we choose, I believe, the right set of investors for the future.
What does expansion look like? Because you mentioned you're in quite a few markets at this point. How are you targeting new markets? How are you thinking about that?
Well, I mean, we are in 38 countries, but if you think about the population that it's underserved from a banking perspective or from a financial service perspective, there are more than 1.7 billion people in the world. So even if we are quite extended our presence, there is still only in Africa there are 54 countries and we are only in 20 countries. So the expectation is, of course, to continue expanding in those countries. Also, we are opening up our presence in Asia, in countries like Philippines, Indonesia, or Malaysia. Very interesting for us. We serve today 130 million active customers, but the goal would be in the next 3 to 5 years to duplicate this amount, hopefully to be in 80-85% of the countries in Africa, because I mean for them sometimes it's the only formal way to access to credit. I mean, even if you don't believe that, I mean, there are no other ways, and what Optasia is doing is democratizing that, allowing people that normally are in the low end of the pyramid, they never have access to those credit, to have access. So the goal is to expand in terms of countries, in terms of geographies, but also in terms of products, new services that we can launch in the geographies that we have presence.
Do you think as expansion it would be an M&A exercise, or how would that work?
Well, that's always is an option. That's why also we raise primary. Primary is to fuel our growth, but also potentially do it inorganically. It is true that the company has never done an inorganic movement, but also it is true that we are looking at it, especially more if we can accelerate our geographical expansion. We are looking at Asia. We are looking also not only in the consumer side, but the small and medium businesses. Not easy because we are not looking for technology. We really trust in our platform. We are looking more on how we can accelerate our presence in the markets that we believe have a lot of potential for the future.
And I think for people who don't know, you guys serve microloans, right? But I think your definition of microloans might be a bit different than the general population. What is the risk with some of these microloans that you give out? If you can just outline the model that you and the team have.
Well, what we do is we collect data, and we call it unstructured data from different sources. Could be from telco consumption, transactions in a wallet. We collect more than 5,000 data at different points. And what we do, we create what we call features per customer, up to 100,000 features for any single person. What it allowed us through the algorithms is to understand what credit you deserve or how much you can afford in order not to default. This is the magic that we do. How much? Because it's not every single person has a different amount, and we are able to recreate this behavior in a way that we manage what we call the default rate. So our default rate it's in the level average with all the services slightly above 1%, so it's very, very low. And what it allowed us is to provide this credit without any type of warranty, any type of collateral. We provide the credit, and you need to pay back. And we really trust that our algorithms allowed us to understand which people and how much, what is the amount that we can provide. So in terms of risk, I mean, is our bread and butter. So we are doing that in 38 countries. Maybe The risk is bigger on the FX side because we operate with so many currencies. But that's why, one of the things that we do is to try to diversify the sources of revenue. There is no single country where our revenues are higher than 15%. That allowed us to have like a natural hedge in terms of the currencies that we are operating. So people believe that the main risk that we have is the default. I would say this is what we really handle properly and allowed us to extend the credit. We are sometimes more focused in trying to diminish the impact of the change of the currency in the different countries.
And the loans can be as small as a few
The loans can be as small as $1 or half a dollar if it is about airtime credit. And if we talk cash lending, the average is $5 per loan. And per person, normally we're talking about $20. So it's not so small. In those economies, this $20 means a lot for people that they are using for financing their working capital or paying their study fees or just for their lack of liquidity at one point of time during the week or during the one period of time. They are able to access that in nearly 30 seconds. It's a transaction that does not require any paperwork. And if you are eligible, you will get your loan in 30 seconds on your wallet. You can do whatever you want to do with it.